Good afternoon, world. It's moments past noon in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. Today is August 5th, 2025, and we are having episode number 80 of Grit and Good News. We're broadcasting live from our palatial second story studio in downtown Waxahachie, deep in the heart of Texas, across in the shadows of the Ellis County Courthouse. And I'm your co-host, Jeff Lynch. Ably manning the boards is our man, Sam Brooks. And to my right is my co-host. Some call him the Big Daddy host. And it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce our host, your host, my friend,
Thank you,
Scott
bud.
Brooks.
Sammy is donning his Cooper flag. We want to say Luca who? By the way, Luke, I saw a report on him last week. He has spent this whole summer so far getting
I
in
read
shape.
that.
And I saw pictures of him, and I'm telling you, he's motivated, and he doesn't look the same dude. I mean, in the face he does, but a lot less fat,
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so
he listened.
he did, and he's got something to prove now because wouldn't it be interesting if the two leading players for the MVP would be Cooper Flag and Luka Doncic? Well, it may not, but or that they're both averaging 28 points a game. Anyway, thank you for being here. We took last week off. Jeff was in beautiful not San Jose. Why do I want to say that?
Lake
Lake
Tahoe.
Tahoe. I wouldn't call San Jose beautiful.
Parts of which are in California, parts of which are in Reno, and the state line goes right down. I won't say the middle, about 2/3 and 1/3.
Yeah. And so split between Vegas and California.
Yeah, and we stayed in South Lake Tahoe,
Yeah.
which is in California. And there's a little street there called State Line Road.
Oh, wow.
And on the other side of State Line Road to the north, you got the Harrahs, you got the Valleys,
Yeah.
and you got the Golden Nugget.
And
I mean, like at that corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to Columbus, Georgia, or Phoenix City, Alabama, the street that divides the city essentially is Alabama and Georgia. I think. I know for sure that it's the line that separates Central Time, East Coast. So your neighbor, it could be 7 o'clock at night. You're at your house next door. It's 8 o'clock, and wouldn't that be weird? So, but that affects the whole everything in that city.
There's a weirder thing than that up in North Dakota. I got this when I was living there, and there's this. It's sometimes the time zones are on state lines. Sometimes they follow topography of a lake or a river. And up there, it's the Missouri River. And there's this chunk coming out of Montana where the Missouri River makes this big U loop. And so you can be in mountain time and be west of places that are in central time.
Yeah, that's weird. That would be weird. So anyway, thank you for being here. We do this show every Tuesday and Thursday from noon to 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. Again, we took last week off, so we have a lot to share with you today, but a lot's been going on in our world. Lots been going on in Waxahachie. We are happy that you're here. It's actually been a beautiful few days. We're about to be hit with I listened to the news coming in this morning, and it was the heat. I don't know if he called it a dome. The guy was in the heat dome that's over Albuquerque right now is drifting our way, and it's going to skyrocket.
And once you get in the dome, you're stuck.
It's doomed.
When they show on the nightly news the amount of rainfall in different places. When we got that big storm yesterday morning at 5:30, we got 1.35 inches, which was pretty much the highest amount of rain in the entire metro.
Wow. Yeah, we needed that rain, and
Yeah,
that
we
was a
did.
vicious storm.
Oh my gosh.
Sammy, you got the mic up like you're going to say something. Oh yeah, so number 80. Let's see what you got.
Number 80. Mostly got all football.
We're talking jersey numbers to correspond
jersey number,
with
our number of shows we've done.
Yeah, so it's all wide receivers in the NFL. Obviously, we got Jerry Rice for the 49ers.
The greatness.
He's a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And then I don't know these people. Wayne Krebet.
Yeah.
For the
Sam, we only put down people that we really think are famous.
Is that the Jets?
This is the Jets guy.
Wayne Krebet. He was a little guy. But yeah, I remember.
And I did this a little bit before the show, so I didn't get a lot. So the next guy is Chris Carter for the Eagles.
Yeah.
And then tight end Zach Miller. for the Raiders. And
Yeah,
that's all I was able to get.
there are. I know the Bills had what the heck?
That was
The
a
Bills had
ant.
that was a big ant. The Bills had. I don't know if it was Andre Reed. I don't think it
I don't
was
know.
Andre. If Maury's watching, he could clarify. But anyway, yeah, those are going to be mostly wide
Yeah.
receivers.
Not as easy a job as you thought it was going to be.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. I didn't give myself time though, so next time I'll
Well,
do
anyway,
better.
all right. So we're on our 80th show. Updates, Rangers playoff chances. We're repeating a little bit of what we saw in 2023, where it is just frustrating to watch this team. They
I
came
know.
out of the second half,
6-0, and then they go 2-5.
yeah, and so it's just like, ugh.
Who
And
are
so
we?
last night, uh, Sonia and I were watching a little bit of it, and it was 3-0 in the second inning, and I'm thinking, here we go again. The Yankees were up 3-0. Here we go again. And not lo and behold, they came back and scored four. Then the Yankees scored a couple more, so it was 5-4 going into the ninth. And at the bottom of the ninth, Jock Peterson hits a dinger, 1-out dinger to tie it. So we go to the 10th, and up comes, because in extra innings, except in the playoffs, they don't do this, but in extra innings in baseball, Major League Baseball, they put a runner on second. And so we had a guy on second already after holding the Yankees scoreless in the top of the 10th. And Josh Young comes in and hits a 3-run dinger. And that
Coming
was it.
off of 4 games
Injury.
out with a sore calf
Yeah, so
muscle.
he's but anyway, this frustration just drives me crazy, and we got studs now. We don't have any reason. We got one of the best pitching staffs in the
No doubt.
league,
Picked up a
and
couple more at
so
the trade
we
deadline.
did. And so there was a guy pitching last night. I don't know if he was a trade deadline guy or not. Corbin, it was a lefty, I think. Yeah, I forget his name, but yeah, we did. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I, we lost 3 out of 4 to Seattle, and that hurt because we're running neck
I
and neck
know.
with
I
them.
know.
So we'll see. Cowboys open preseason Saturday night against the Rams, and we know
At LA.
at LA. So you won't see any of the stars play.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, do they not do a quarter?
I don't think anymore in preseason.
They don't do that.
There used to be 4 preseason games, and the third preseason game is when you would see the stars come out and play for a half or whatever. And then they've reduced it to 3, and so now I don't think, other than maybe a series, they don't
Well,
really play.
well, like, what do you think about like the Titans? Because they got Cam Ward.
He'll play.
He'll play.
Yeah. The other teams that have new quarterbacks, they'll get some
Yeah.
play time. But anyway, so
Hey,
these games, this season goes by fast. I promise.
possibly, if somebody were to write in and tell me why they deserve some preseason tickets, I might cough up a pair of them.
There you
And
go.
let me tell you one thing that they've done now. I've had them since 11. Most of that time, this has been the rule. You are required to buy preseason tickets to have season tickets. You can't just buy your season tickets. You can't buy your 8 regular. You got to buy
By
2.
2.
And basically it changes every year, but right now I pay about 2/3 of what I pay for a regular season
Yeah.
for a preseason,
Yeah.
and it's mandatory.
That's a ripoff.
And I don't really like to go, especially because they're night games. I'm not fond of going to night
Yeah.
games. So I'm in a habit of giving them away.
Well, that's nice of you. And
And
maybe in our if you want us to, we can put it in our teas next on Thursday.
yeah,
And until you're done giving them away. But that's a ripoff to
it
me.
is. It is.
Because the last preseason game, the last game I saw, Sonia and I saw the Cowboys was last preseason game of the year in 2021 or 22 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was when Urban Meyer was the coach and had the worst, he got canned.
Mhm.
But that there was maybe 70,000 people there. It was, we enjoyed it. We had good seats, but it was preseason.
Right.
So anyway, but the season will be here before we know it. Sammy and I were talking about who opens the season for the NFL. You know who it is? Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday night football, the first game of anybody
Yeah.
at Philly,
Yeah.
September 4th.
That'll be a good test right out of the gate. And then, of course, we know on August 30th, don't anybody expect me to be doing anything but sitting on my backside watching at least 3 games. We got Texas, Ohio State at 11 a.m. We got LSU, Clemson at 2:30. No, we got Bama and Florida State at 2:30, and at I think 6 or 7, it's one of those two times, LSU Clemson.
We're not in the habit of socializing a lot
Yeah.
outside. We've done a few things,
Yeah.
but if I just came and knocked on your door on a Saturday afternoon, would you answer the door?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I knew it was you.
And would you have chips and salsa out or anything like that, or would I
No,
have to bring some
I'd say
munchies?
get you what no, I'd say there's stuff in the what do you call it?
Pantry and
Cabinet, yeah,
fridge? Okay.
pantry.
All
But
right.
yeah, I'd say heck yeah, you wouldn't even have to knock. But there are others who would come and they could knock until their hand fell off.
Those dogs wouldn't attack me, would they?
No, they'd make you sound like they would attack you, but they
Okay.
wouldn't be attacking you. So
Let's
we
get
got
on
that
to
big day of
business.
football. Yeah.
All
So
right.
I think that's it on anything else on the updates. All right. So we're going to talk today about what's going on in the state of Texas. That is redistricting. It sounds a little bit complex, but really, when you boil it all down, Texas has, I think, 38 districts. I could be off, but I'm not sure how many. So take that back. I'm not really sure, but like any state, like every state, Texas is made up of districts of people, us, and we are represented by legislators in the state house in Austin, and so they are in our case, I have to say it, but it's Brian Harrison, and we are district. It's either 10 or 6. I can't remember. I get them back. It's because Jake Elsie is either 10 or 6, and then Brian Harrison's either 10 or
But
6.
we're right next to 30.
Yeah, it's weird how they got this all set up. But anyway, every state has districts. Every district is repped by an elected official. In our case, it's Brian Harrison. By example, in District 30, that is Jasmine Crockett. And then there are other most of these people, I think, on the state level who get name recognition across outside the state are usually getting it because of things they don't want it for. Like Jasmine Crockett's well known, but
Right.
she's well known for being an idiot. And so there are some really strong
I wouldn't say
districts.
just for being outspoken
Well,
and outlandish is what I would say she's
okay.
known for.
Well, you're being a little bit more diplomatic, but
Well,
I would say, when you go around calling the president of the United States piece of using the language or mofo and talking this ghetto all this stuff, you're being an idiot. And you're being an idiot because you want to be noticed and heard and seen. But she reps the district just to our
north.
north, yeah, whatever. Uh, and and there are others. Jake Elsie represents us on a national level in Washington, but these folks that we're talking about in the state of Texas represent districts in the state, and they are paid about $600 a month. They have stipends and some other things, but about $600 a month to be a state representative. So most all of them have day jobs and situations where they can go to session every other year and spend 6 months down there in Austin. So the Texas, like I don't know, I guess every state, every so often,
Every,
and it could be
every
every
10 years after
that's
we
census.
have the census, we change them
Yeah.
around.
So if you're down, if we were down there and say one of us was the governor, we look at our state and we say, how has our state in terms of elections, how have we voted? What have been our trends? What is the makeup of our counties and our districts? And the Republicans will say, is it set up to optimize and leverage us for winning?
Right.
The Democrats do the same thing. So in a red state like Texas, particularly when the state
Tour.
legislator is controlled by the
Sure.
Republicans, you say, okay, we need to make sure that we've got this state secured
Right.
with respect to staying red.
So
So
let's
right now,
talk about that.
yeah,
Is that legal or illegal?
it's legal.
Is it legal?
It is
Has
legal.
it been around forever?
It's been around forever.
What's it called?
Gerrymandering.
And where did that term come from?
You tell us.
Okay. In 1812, the governor of Massachusetts was Governor Gerry, Gerry, and he redrew that map in the shape of a salamander. So it'd be called gerrymandering.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And it's been around all this time. There's nothing remotely illegal. It's, you know, the expression, to the victor go the spoils.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
That is basically what happens. If you have control then that's one thing that you can control.
Yes.
And these districts that they're trying to redo are so convoluted. Sam, do you have that District 30 up? Okay. So we'll talk about Jasmine Crockett's district. We'll talk about Chicago, where they
Yeah.
fled to. I tried, I found one and I wanted to give it to Sam to print it out. It was so convoluted and so impossible to read in such a mesh of colors. You know, Chicago is a traditionally Democratic city,
Yes.
and they have gerrymandered the heck out of that city so much that if you look at that, the congressional map up there, it looks like a grade school child put the thing together. But
Right.
it's all about power and control.
It is.
And it's
And
the same thing in
it
Massachusetts,
is.
in Boston.
Yeah. So I'm here to say I don't have. It's a really good quote to say
Yeah,
that to the victors go the spoils, and that's what happens. You get in power in this country and you can do a lot that you can't do when you're not in power. So these states like New York, states like Massachusetts, states like Illinois, uh, and in this case, Jeff's talking about Chicago, those states, California, those states are known for maximizing
right,
gerrymandering. Gerrymandering, I've always used it as more of a slang term. It's not a slang term, it's an actual
right.
definable word in the dictionary. And it simply means redoing things, redrawing things, redistricting things that work to your favor. So Abbott, as he should, says, how are we going to now that we have uh, it's 2025, we've got 2026 midterms coming up. We don't want Texas to ever become any shade of purple, much less blue. So what are we going to do with our state to make sure that we can strengthen our stronghold on the power in
At
this
the
state?
request of our
Yeah,
president,
at the request of a president. So a president says, yeah, what we any state out there that red, we want to make it redder.
right.
We want to
And
make
people
it
say, no, wait a
crimson.
minute. I thought we do this every 10 years with the census.
Yeah.
It does happen sometimes
It,
under other
it happens
conditions in
really
the,
as we're heading into a lot of times it happens with
right.
midterms.
And it happened that the Supreme Court in 2019 made a ruling on uh, South Carolina and Maryland had done this. Of course, the other side complained.
Yeah.
It took 3 years to get to the Supreme Court, and the
Right.
Supreme Court supported it. Sam, do you have the District 30 up there now? Are you ready? Okay. This is now this is one of the prime ones that he'll go that they're going to
Texas
go
is going
after
after.
because this is the most gerrymandered district you can see. If you look at the bottom of that, that's Red Oak on the very bottom on the
And this is
borderline.
Crockett's
Crockett's district,
district.
and then
Yes.
it encompasses um, DeSoto, and it encompasses Duncanville, and it's got Lancaster. They don't have every one of these. It's got Wilmer and Hutchins, but as you get on up, and most of those areas are fairly full of
African American
African Americans,
and Democrat. Well,
and
Democrats
then
not.
it includes all of Fair Park,
Yep.
which is about 95%. Includes a lot of Oak Cliff, which is mixed. It includes West Dallas,
Hmm.
which is mixed. It's certainly in the white area. It includes downtown,
Hmm.
although downtown now has a lot of new millennials and yuppies moving into it, and it goes all the way up next to Love Field, and you say to yourself, what do any of those areas really have in common?
Right.
Minority.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been by whom and for the obvious reason of strengthening the uh, foothold, the footing that these representatives have. That's what gerrymandering, as we've said, is about. So Texas is now undergoing
Yeah.
this process. So what happens? And this has happened before, but because of the leverage and the strength of the Republicans in Austin, Abbott and his team has said through a lot of effort, and a lot of work, said this is how we're going to redistrict the state of Texas. And you're right. If you go
They're going to
from
find white pockets, or
yeah,
not
so
white, Republican pockets in there
well, and white.
and carve them.
Yeah, so they're going to. What's happening is that these districts are being recarved so as to bring the minority that we've talked about here, the African American minority, and Hispanics are also included in that discussion. But we're gonna redistrict them into a place that will, in fact, make that new district uh, almost all African American, and thereby or therefore making it a foothold, a strong foothold for the Democrats. The Republicans say, okay, we're going to redistrict this. You can have that. We can't redistrict it enough for us to have a chance to win it. So we're going to, where we know that we don't have a chance to win it, we're just going to push as many of the same Democrats and African Americans and minorities into a place in this redistricting. We're going to then take what's left over, and we're going to make it another place and say that's our stronghold. And what's happening is people like Crockett's home base is Cedar Hill. I don't care what color Crockett is. None of that ever matters to me. I mean, I think of some of our brightest people in DC, probably in Austin, but I know more in DC. I mean, you look at Ben Carson, you look at uh, Byron, forget his name, down in Florida. It doesn't matter the color when I say this, but I don't want Jasmine Crockett. I wouldn't want Jasmine Crockett representing me at a pie eating contest.
And remember how Jasmine came into office. She replaced a great African American, Edie Bernice. I always get it confused whether it's Eddie Bernice or Edie Bernice. I think it's actually Eddie Bernice Johnson.
Yeah.
And she served for 30 years. We've now named the Union Station downtown, the train station, where Amtrak runs, and the commuter lines also run after her. And she was a classy, dignified woman. And she wasn't a trash talker.
Right.
She's everything we would have wanted to represent us there. And she was black. And I don't know how much gerrymandering happened over the years to shape that district, but she served it well.
Well, it was redistricted enough over the years that it kept someone like her in office. Sammy, get ready to play Abbott's brief video. I want to show this, but when we think of things, when I say to my pals, uh, how does Jasmine Crockett or AOC or the Squad or Eric Swalwell or other people, whether it's on a national level or state level, how do they keep winning? Well, they keep winning because their districts are constantly redistricted or recarved so as to make it a stronghold either for them or somebody like them.
Right. And we can say that about Republican districts too.
We can. So,
because you are your constituents.
That's exactly right. I mean, District 6 is been represented by a Republican for I don't know how long. I think it's District 6 with Brian Harrison. So it's legal to do. Texas is undergoing it. I want you to hear this real brief video from Governor Abbott, I think yesterday. Sammy, if you'll play that.
And they've left because they're very un-Texan. Texans don't run from a fight, and there's a fight going on in the legislature right now about redistricting as well as other things. But I'll make two quick points, Dana, about this.
One,
to run to states like New York and Illinois to protest redistricting is kind of like running to Wisconsin to protest cheese. It's just kind of outrageous. Those are New York and Illinois are two hallmark states that have already done redistricting to eliminate Republicans. But the second thing is far more serious, and that is what these Democrats have done. Just a small fraction of them were needed to break a quorum, and that small fraction is holding hostage legislation in the state of Texas where we will be able to provide assistance and reform for all of the victims of that horrific flooding that we've had in the state of Texas. Our fellow Texans are being let down and not getting the flood relief they need because these Democrats have absconded from the responsibility, and I believe they have forfeited their seats in the state legislature because they are not doing the job they were elected to do.
Now, what the Texas Democrats are doing is
Sam, did you speed that up?
It may have been the original.
I have never ever heard
it may have been the
him talk
original
like
video or videographer that did it. But there you have it. I mean, the issue now, and what Jeff and I wanted to talk about in the closing minutes of this discussion, is that 55 state legislators have left the state of Texas. They have most all of them have flocked to Illinois, more specifically Chicago, where they were welcomed with open arms by J.B. Pritzker, who's a raging liberal, in my view, and they are being treated like kings and queens up there, staying in hotels, eating the best food. But they ran from Texas, 55 of them, and there's a reason there's 55 of
That's what
them.
they needed.
Yeah,
Same man. Wasn't
and so that
kill 'em.
breaks. No, I got him. So that breaks quorum, so they can't be a vote. And now Paxton and Abbott have made what I think are reasonable threats that if you don't get back here by 1 o'clock today, you're going to be arrested. And of course, then you have to go find them, and all that hullabaloo takes place. But if you're the problem in this country, one of it is that we got yahoos that are representing us at every level. I mean, there are some good ones. I'm not going to bunch them all together, but when we have people that we have elected to serve us that are running and playing games, that's reprobate material in my view. It's far beneath what and shame on any Republican that would ever do it. Now, I don't know that a Republican in Texas has ever done it. Maybe they have. I'm not aware of it, but shame on anybody that does it. I don't care what party. But these guys just run off. They got to come back at some point.
right.
It's going to be addressed. I mean, it's like that
Yeah,
old
well, they say
AMCO.
they're going to go till the 2-week mark when the special session
Well, he'll
is over.
extend it. He'll call another one.
What did they run for a year or two ago? Remember when a bunch of
Yeah,
them
I
took
can't
off?
remember what
It was a similar issue.
it was. A
It
similar
was a
issue, and they did the same thing.
cowardly way to
Yeah,
handle it.
so they are wherever they are, and what Abbott's saying is true. I told Jeff already, it's on a much more serious level because this involves life and death. But the LGBT community in America, many of them support oppose what's going on in Gaza and Israel's what they refer to as genocide and Israel's conduct and defending itself and all that sort of thing. And so they oppose Israel, but they support Hamas. Uh, and Hamas, just like much of the Middle East over there, Saudi Arabia, other places say if you are homosexual, we kill you. There are no homosexuals later. So the LGBTQ community is supporting a group that if they were to do that
members of the community.
yeah, members of the community. So, but if they were to do that in Gaza, they would be killed. The same thing's being applied here, in my opinion. We got men and women that we've elected to serve citizens in the state of Texas who don't like redistricting running to the state that is most known for however you want to look at it, worst or best use of gerrymandering in terms of making Chicago and Illinois a blue state. So it's just
Effective
bizarre.
politics.
It's like Abbott said, you want to protest cheese, the consumption and the making of cheese. You don't necessarily, I mean, you don't flock to to Wisconsin in your efforts. And that's what's happening here. So this redistricting is going to continue. We want you guys to know about it. It doesn't affect anyone in Ellis County per se, but it does affect those in that Jeff talked about, Red Oak and all the way up to Love Field. That needs to be redrawn. I got to believe if you're a power broker, let's just say in downtown Dallas, and building companies, hiring thousands of people, and need quality representation in Washington, D.C. or in Austin, and you look on TV and you watch Jasmine Crockett be the one who's representing you, you got to be saying, how in the world? It's like the other day I saw somebody say, Doug Cohen, who's a longtime Democrat, practical Democrat, not a far left, wrote a column saying it very well be that AOC could be the Democrat nominee in 2028. And I'm thinking,
bring it on.
I'm thinking to myself, who on the left would want that to happen?
Governor Abbott, I want you to think about one thing. I don't think it's as easy as you think to go arrest people. One of my dearest friends, I call him Hockey Jeff. He spent a long, long time with one of the leading departments in town as the warrant officer. And what happens as a warrant officer is if you got somebody with a warrant in your community and you go serve that warrant, if it's in another community in the Metroplex, you call up, hey, Balch Springs, hey, wherever, I got this guy. I've done my research. He works at Chili's. He's on work. What day this week? He's going to be there these 3 days. What day can I go with you
Yeah.
to serve that warrant? You don't go out there by yourself,
Right.
and you don't send some Yahoo Texas marshal or whatever up to Chicago to try to serve a warrant. Whoa,
Well,
dude, it ain't going to
particularly
work.
in,
And
yeah,
what I'm saying is, how much cooperation do you think you're going to get from the Chicago
that's right. That's
PD?
what I was
And
going to
I
say.
just don't think it's,
Yeah, they're not gonna. There's not.
deal with them when they come home.
Yeah, it's a matter of when they come home. So I don't think.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, I think Abbott said we will arrest them in the state of Texas. So he
that's the only
knows.
way you could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So anyway, but we'll see what happens. I just think it's a sad state of affairs when we got politicians that we've elected running off rather than
yeah.
facing and trying to fight it. All right. So there you have redistricting. Let's talk a little bit about Trump and job growth. Uh, Trump is now, I think he's either already done it or said he's going to do it. The Bureau of Labor and Statistics is the organization that provides job growth or job loss, job statistics, whatever the issue might be. It's the BLS, like Bureau of Labor and Statistics,
That
that
sounds like
provide
BS with an L in the middle to
yeah, it
me.
does.
Hmm.
But that's
Bada bing.
the entity that provides the country and administrations all the data they need to
Yeah,
have. In this case, the administrator of BLS is a former Biden uh, person. Let me put it that way. That Trump has had it out for since earlier in Biden's administration, where he thought numbers were being fudged in favor of Biden and that sort of thing. Who knows? But anyway, Trump has said, based on a job report that came out late last week or early this week, which would be now, so it was probably late last week, that wasn't all that favorable. It showed less job growth than what was anticipated. Trump didn't like that, so Trump has said, "You're gone," uh, because he
and they
believes they're
adjusted
fudging it.
down previous months.
Yeah, they did. They did. It went back to, I think, June and May, or May and April. But
Hmm.
anyway, you're right about that. So Trump has said, I'm just getting rid of them. And so it's a female, I believe. But
It is.
so so we took a little, I did, and Jeff has some information too, but I wanted to take a deeper look into not only job growth, but about tariffs and other things that we've talked about on this show, particularly in my case, where I have said I am a proponent of tariffs and believe that tariffs, one, can help us get away from the income tax system as we know it, and that tariffs is, when this country was started, is how we generated revenue for the country. And I believe we can go back to that sort of system with other, things in it that weren't in it when we first used it decades, centuries ago. Uh, so I wanted to say, well, Trump talked about creating job growth, talked about generate revenue from tariffs. $55 billion is the number that is being reported as to what tariffs since trade wars started that has been generated. Uh, this job growth report was, again, all over the place because of these politics in it. But I did the report I got my hands on was one that showed what is the job growth for Americans, American-born citizens, and is that up or down? Because one of the things that Trump promised when he ran for office was that he's going to focus on making sure that job growth occurs for those born in America, American citizens. No more job growth, because what his claim was that Biden and his administration was saying jobs, we're coming off the COVID pandemic, lots of jobs lost, right? So we're coming out of that. Those jobs got to be filled, and then we had millions of people flooding into the country. Those people got jobs. So Trump is convinced, and I think there's merit to it, that between COVID, coming back from COVID, between that and millions of people coming in that are illegals and jobs being filled, that it made it look like Biden had a strong growth economy, uh, and that these numbers were in fact messed with. So therein lies the anger and ire that Trump has. Trump said, "I'm going to focus on American people, the American people." And in this report, which I have, uh, this is from, let's see, August the 2nd, U.S. born job gains out. U.S. born job gains outpace losses among immigrant workers. So you got American born job growth surged by close to 2 million in the last 12 months, which Trump's been in office for 6 of those 12. as jobs among foreign-born individuals declined during the same period, according to BLS. The number of native-born Americans aged 16 and over increased between July 2024 under the Biden administration and July 2025 by just under 2 million, which is an increase of a percentage and a half. So the question is, do our listeners, do you all believe that the economy is getting better and that we've talked about this question before, is Trump, what his policies taking hold and making a real noticeable, tangible difference? So you're retired. I have a job. Sammy has a job. Most of the people we know have jobs. I don't know, I may know them and not know that they're illegal, but most people in my world have jobs.
Right.
So, and for me, when I look at the economy and just my practical everyday life, certainly not getting any worse. Now, Sonia buys all the groceries. I pay, we get gas and all that sort of thing. And, although I've slowed down a lot, you'd be proud of me. The things I buy, I've noticed aren't increasing, but they have increased, over the years. So to me, I'm being anecdotal, and I just don't want to be a Trump fan and say everything he does is gold. I just don't feel like the economy is suffering right now. I think it's on its way to getting better.
And here's the deal on tariffs. Everything he's doing, he's trying to get it to where we're not upside down. Because currently, until he came in, for almost everybody we dealt with in the whole world, their tariff on us was higher than our tariff on them.
Yeah.
And when you talk about tariff revenue, so it gets the balance in shape, and that's revenue that we didn't have before.
Right.
And I don't want to make it too easy for you on Today in History, but I'm going to tell you what. Abraham Lincoln signed the Revenue Act in 1861, which levied the first income tax on Americans, a flat tax of 3% on those making over blank a year.
Back then, $3,000 a year.
If you made $800 a year,
Yeah.
you got a 3% flat tax.
Yeah.
So where did the money come to run the country before 1861?
Right.
It was coming from tariffs.
Yeah. So
tariffs are a huge, huge good thing for us.
I think the combination of tariffs and use tax is where this country ought to be situated. I mean, if tariffs are going to make things that I buy go up, then I'll have to deal with that. But I have a choice in purchasing or not purchasing things. With respect to income tax, I don't have a choice. I got to abide by the rules.
Right.
So, but in this case, the other part of this job growth issue for Americans is growing. And we've had millions that have, I don't know about millions, but lots of people have been kicked out of this country now. We don't have hardly any. I think there was zero. A report the other day from Holman was that we had zero, what they call engagements at the southern border, people trying to come in illegally.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who can come in because they either follow the rules or have visas or what have you. But in terms of those who are illegal trying to get into this country, that's disappeared, essentially. And so it would make sense that foreign-born job growth is down because there are a lot less of those people now, and more every day are being kicked out of the country. So the question really is, do we feel like we're headed in the right direction? And I listen to a lot of talking heads, and I'll listen to somebody describe the economy. Like last night, I was listening to Jesse Waters, and he had on this guy, I forget his name, but he was the guy. His label was "White Dudes for Harris," and he was on the show, and Jesse wanted to know,
Small
are you
club.
still a white? Yeah, are you still a white dude for Harris? And he said, well, yeah, I'm a white dude for Democrats. And he just went for 2 or 3 minutes just trashing the economy, every part of what Trump's doing. We're in a free fall, and I'm thinking, is this guy living in the same country I'm living in, or am I blinded by certain affinities, or is he blinded by certain blind support?
I can tell you one thing. Eggs are way down. I can tell you what I paid for gas at 7-Eleven on Ferris yesterday
Mm-hmm.
was $2.61.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Down.
those things are down.
Yeah.
Those
Uh,
things are
I
down.
was just curious. What's his name? Harry Sisson?
No, I know who Harry Sisson
Is
is.
it Parker?
No, he looks like he's light-skinned African American, but
Okay.
he's not.
Okay.
But he was a bit cocky. Jesse treated him with respect, but he was describing the opposite
Yeah.
as to how I would describe the country. Now, granted, I'm a conservative. He's a Democrat, but can't we just say, let's be real about it? Let's just be real.
And I've heard Democrats talking about how come prices haven't gone down. Hello, slow down the boat. Slow down the boat. We tried to get out of the 23% up and up and up and to get it level. And you got to get it level to get it to come down.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I don't think restaurants are ever coming down
Yeah, I mean, why would you? Let's say,
because people have gotten used to paying
yeah.
that.
It's like the other night I was telling Sammy, Sonia and I were laughing about it. Sammy and Kennedy went to get something to eat, and we bought their Chick-fil-A, and it was $30. And Sonia was like, and I don't eat at Chick-fil-A
I don't either. They're
other than their
ridiculous.
fries, but it was $30, and Sonia said, wow, holy cow, $30, $15 each, what they get. Well, actually, they didn't get they might have got an extra here or there, but to your point, those prices have gone exponentially high, and we DoorDash a lot, and those prices went up. If I owned a restaurant, and because of COVID or supply chain issues or whatever the reasons were that it was going up, inflation, and all that comes down, why would I bring my prices down if I can get it?
It'd be interesting to do a demographic study of Chick-fil-A about by generation. I don't see a lot of seniors going to Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're a little bit tighter with our money, and I think not to be critical of these younger generations, but I think they don't think anything of paying these prices. They don't think anything of door dashing a lot.
Right.
They just they don't think anything of paying $10 for a Starbucks Mogo Go what you call it latte. It doesn't bother them
Well,
one
they've grown
cotton
up.
picking
We've
bits.
grown up with that. You and I
I
come from
know.
a generation where, holy cow, $10 for this or what have you. And Sonia and I, because of our schedules and the commitments we have, we do DoorDash a lot, but we pay $10 a month to be a DoorDasher, and then we don't have to pay fees when we order. So it's really economical for us. But even
But
then,
then you still tip.
yeah,
Or
you
not.
still tip, which, most of the restaurants that require us to tip on DoorDash, well, all of them do. They don't require us, but the ones we do would be ones that we would go to and tip anyway. So we don't DoorDash from Burger
What kind of
King or
tips do you give
whatever.
them?
Well, they give you an
A
option.
scale.
It's between 15 and 25%. No. So anyway, that's kind of where we are, and we're going to talk more about the economy as we keep moving along here. I want us to be a place where you can go and it just be discussed real. It's real what's happening. All right, Jeffrey, you got I don't know if you have
I do.
all right, random thoughts
I'm
for
kind of
today.
proud of them too.
What do you got?
It's too late for me to change my it's too late for me to change my past, not too late for you to change your future.
There you go. I like that one.
Don't give people the ability to do something and criticize them when they do it. Not every story has a happy ending. What a tangled web we weave by Walter Scott. And if you had holidays every day,
There
it
would be
wouldn't be
no
special.
holidays.
They wouldn't be
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, there wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to think of it. For sure.
Common sense, but you're
By the way, speaking of holidays, on my TikTok, which I love TikTok, Sonia was making fun of me last night or having fun with me last night when now are coming on Christmas music. So it'll say which scene would be your favorite preferred Christmas, and it'll show different looks of houses and things like that. But in the background is the Christmas music, and I am the minute Halloween is over, November the 1st, on comes the Christmas music. I love Christmas music.
Rita was shopping yesterday at Home Store out
Yeah.
in Cedar. What do you call it? Cedar what?
Hill?
Cedar Hill.
Yeah.
Which replaced the old Garden Ridge.
Yeah.
They rebranded. She said 25% of that store was Halloween right now.
Isn't that crazy? They'll be here before we know it. All right, those are great random thoughts. Thank you, sir. All right, he said. We got to go through this one quick. But Sammy, cue up the Jerry Jones. Something's going on more than what meets the eye with Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons. And I've said, to set this up, I have said from a shallow point of view, meaning just impulsive. If Jerry Jones, because of his behavior, we lose Micah Parsons, I'm done with the Cowboys, period. I was watching two guys talk yesterday on the news last night, and Orlovsky, one of them, talking head on ESPN, said if the Cowboys lose Micah Parsons, they will never, in the next 4 or 5 years, win a Super Bowl. They just will not do it.
He's been down this road so many times.
Yeah,
Okay,
he has with
Okay,
Dak.
with CD Lamb,
Yep.
with Dak, with Zeke, with
Yep.
Tony Romo, with Dez. And here's the deal: when draft picks come, they have a slotted system of salaries, and for the first 4 years, with an option on the fifth. In his, he was in 21, and he made 3.1, 3.9, 4.0, and 5.4 on his
You
first.
talking about Michael?
Micah.
Yeah.
And he made 24
Last year.
this year.
This year.
And so here's the thing. He wants the injury protection that comes with the long-term contract. Has he earned it? I don't know. He's kind of tied to us for 2 years.
Yeah.
After this with franchise tag. And Jerry doesn't like feeling muscled. He doesn't like the fact that he and Micah had a sit-down session, came to terms, years and dollars. Micah said, I'm good with that, but I got to run it by my agent. And Jerry doesn't like talking to agents. Most of his best late settlements have been when the player comes in during training camp, when he's holding out and says, okay, let's do something. And he comes to a deal. And that's how Jerry wants to work it.
I agree. So with that said, that's a very good explanation and lead into this video. So Sammy, play this video real quick.
Is salvageable.
I think the relationship is what it is. What y'all don't know is what I offered him. And it's a hell of a lot more than you think I did. When you're guaranteeing somebody almost $200 million, that's sensitive stuff.
When he put out the note yesterday saying he'd asked for a trade, did that make you angry?
Not a bit.
The deal, the offer you had in March, the meeting of the minds, is that still on the table?
Micah took it off.
He took it off, so it's not on the table.
He took it off. No, he took it off. I'm just saying he took it off. Future, I wouldn't be standing here with you if I didn't think we had potentially had a great future with Micah.
Is this fun for you?
What?
This whole ordeal?
Well, I've chosen to do this for my life, and
Okay, Sam, that's good.
this is
yeah. So there you have it. I think what's happened here, and I'm not a big Jerry Jones fan, but in this case, I am all on Jerry Jones' side. I think Jerry Jones, what he just said, is actually what happened. In March, Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons sat down and talked, and Micah Parsons was offered a deal that I don't know what the specifics of the deal were or are, but Jerry Jones said it included a guarantee of $200 million. That's what I offered him. And again, without knowing the length of time, but $200 million,
That's
$200 million.
50
Yeah. And so I believe the agent said, well, we can leverage this guy for more than that, Micah. Come on. And this agent then got involved, and Jerry's like, just like I would be, I'd say, let me tell you something, you little punk. This is not how it's going to happen. And if you need to go out and do all your little maneuvers and gyrations, do it. But that's not how we're going to get this deal done. So my guess, past behavior can predict future behavior. I believe Jerry Jones, probably leading into week 1, will, or maybe even the next 10 days, will sign a deal with Micah Parsons. But this is, I believe, my opinion is it's all on Micah Parsons' agent's shoulders, period. All right.
He's always been outspoken anyway.
Yeah, he has. So there you have it. All right. Time for rhyme time, Jeffrey.
We got a little something here called nicknames. Not nicknames.
Real quick before we do this, we're having trouble with our comments showing up on y'all's screen, so I just want to tell you what Chuck said about the Jerry Jones. situation. He said Jerry Jones is the worst GM ever. Jimmy Johnson, I think, is the real reason the Cowboys won the Super Bowl in the 90s.
I don't think there's any question
Who'd
about
argue with that?
And I agree with Chuck that I think Jerry Jones in this case, Jerry Jones owns the world's richest, wealthiest, uh,
Franchise of
theoretically,
all
in
sports and
reality,
has been for some time.
most successful, yeah, 10 billion, 11 billion dollars. So he could look at me and say, what do you mean you don't think I'm doing a good job? Look at what I got. Part of that is it's hard to kind of screw up the star, you know what I mean? But in this case, I believe Jerry Jones is taking the right position and that Micah's allowed his agent to run interference, and that's bad.
All righty.
All right.
Okay, here we go. We got a little something here called pet peeves.
Yes.
My buddy Timmy has a huge pet peeve. It's about shopping carts that people leave. Though the racks aren't far from where they park their rig, folks just leave them wherever they dig. Tim's mom raised him right, yet this gets him into a verbal fight. When he doesn't see the offender, he's really quite tender. He'll put their cart away and never scratch a fender. The late, great Gail Rhine and Rita, a lady most fine, shared a common peeve. Don't be late, or they might leave. Rita's now my wife. I strive for promptness in my life. On a related note, here's what won't float her boat. Don't try to change the plan. Best just let it stand. This writer has his own beef. Mistakes in the newspaper. Is there no proofreading chief? So what's your pet peeve? You must have one, I believe. It's surely okay. We can all have our say. The key, I think, is don't turn into a dink. Your feelings, others may not share, and that's more than fair. Often best to keep certain thoughts to yourself and leave that nasty anger on the shelf. Don't harsh folks mellow. Don't be a cranky fellow. We all got our quirks. That's just how it works.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to have a little segment on pet peeves. I've got a few.
Oh,
That'd be a good-
we could have a good one, couldn't we?
I'm gonna write
Yeah.
that down. All right, we got we got a little more time. Samuel, these clocks, one of them says what time? We got 3 different clocks in this room, and all 3 of them say a different time. 12:55, 12:54, 12:53.
We're long on time. We're gonna have a little bit at the end. We only had 5 entries. A couple of them are very long,
Okay.
burdensome to read. Here we go. Abraham Lincoln signed the Revenue Act in
Yep.
1861,
Okay.
which levied the first income tax on Americans. 3% on those making over 800 a year to help fund the Union Civil War effort. So
So we get a win for that. We each should get a win on that one since you gave it to us.
you'd have a hard time getting that wrong.
Well, no, you told us the year.
You said 1864, right?
No,
I
one.
said 1861.
Sammy got it wrong.
Did you give us the answer?
Yes.
Oh.
I read it to you before. 1861 is the answer.
Okay.
So we get a win.
You got the bonus. He gets a
Oh, I
win.
got 2. Yeah,
All right.
Sammy.
The music and dance show American Bandstand. Here's another
Mm,
possible.
I think I know it.
Hosted by
Dick Clark.
Dick Clark for the bonus. Made its national network debut. And I went with Lawrence Welk. I was pretty ashamed.
Oh,
Oh God, I was ashamed of myself on that. Made its national network debut, beginning a 30-year run on ABC TV. When did American Bandstand start? You ever
night.
remember that show? They'd,
I have no
they-
idea.
they'd
You-
have pop music and they'd have a bunch of kids just dancing.
Yeah,
their
you and
feet
Kennedy
off,
used to
right?
watch it. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool show.
Yeah.
1959.
I was gonna say 1913.
We did not have TV there. You were getting so much better, and now you're not bothering to think. Come on now. 1957.
Oh,
Real quick, I got a comment. Sammy, thoughts on the Hungarian Grand Prix? Hulkenberg's penalty. It was a crazy race. Hulkenberg got a penalty for starting early on a
Cheating.
light. Yeah.
He was
You
trying
ought
to
to get a
cheat.
penalty for that.
What?
You ought to get a penalty for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, well, I guess. But yeah, it was a good race, Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Good. Cool.
I got a little. You be careful on this one. Okay. Marilyn Monroe, age 36,
Yep.
was found dead in her Los Angeles home. Her death was ruled a probable homicide from acute barbiturate poisoning.
Yeah.
And also this same year, South African anti-apartheid activist Nelson Mandela was arrested on charges of leaving the country without a valid passport and inciting workers to strike. It was the beginning of 27 years in prison. So, same thing happened in this year.
What was the last date? I don't remember.
The last date was 57.
I'm going to say
I'll do 64.
65.
It's 62.
Ah,
I was way off because
Of
I thought,
Mandela.
well, no, I thought that's when Maryland was messing around with JFK. And now I'm trying to put two things together, and I'm wondering if she was starting to worry that the word was getting out
Yeah,
and she didn't want to embarrass them.
could
And
be.
so she just
It's awful
popped the
story.
pills.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you go.
it's awful.
Here we go. U.S. Navy pilot Everett Alvarez Jr. became the first American flyer to be shot down and captured by North Vietnam. He was held prisoner until 1973. But when was he shot down?
68.
71.
64.
Ah,
They held him prisoner for 9
Yeah.
years.
That's awful.
And we close with the White House released transcripts of subpoenaed. The White House released transcripts of subpoenaed tapes recordings as showing that President Richard Nixon and his staff, H.R. Haldeman, had discussed a plan in June of 72 to use the CIA to thwart the FBI's Watergate investigation. Revelation of the tape sparked Nixon's resignation.
1979.
74.
74 is correct.
Booyah. I was finished 7-0 with two
Mm.
bonuses.
I got 2 wrong.
I was 6-1. Way to beat me.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, thanks. How did Chuck do? Did he answer?
Yeah, he
Or
answered
Terry?
2. I'm gonna just say he got it.
Is
Just
Terry on there?
No, Terry's not.
Sure,
on
we
there.
got to check
I
on
will. Yeah, I
Terry.
will fix this. I just want to let
Yeah.
y'all know, Chuck. I will fix this Thursday.
Yeah, check it so we can see this. All right, we're going to close with our true facts that sound like bull honky. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Born ready.
This is it's not a true or false, but I'm gonna make it one. This is a statement, true or false. Nolan Ryan had 7 no-hitters in his major league career, but no perfect games. True or false?
False.
True.
True. This is probably because Nolan Ryan is the Major League Baseball career leader in batters walk. His 2,795 career walks are among almost 1,000 more than the next closest pitcher. Isn't that interesting? I didn't know that about him, that he had the most walks. And this book is a little bit older, but I don't know, what if somebody's closer than 1,000 now, but that's a lot of walks.
Guess what? If I'm a batter and a guy can throw heat, but you don't know whether he can always get it over the plate,
Yeah,
I'm petrified.
yeah, no doubt. I remember those days, the little league, thinking this dude throws too hard. I don't want to get hit. All right, that's the show for today. Thank you for being here. Remember, you can find us on Substack.com under Grit and Good News. $5 a month. You get a lot of content, a lot of information. We got some really cool stuff coming later this week. A column and a poem that you will find, I think,
Compelling.
nowhere else. I think it's safe to say you won't find it anywhere else in terms of that content. So thank you for being here.
Have a great day, and remember, put a smile on somebody's face today.